everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to jump in and tackle 25 essential phrasal verbs for business English. And I'm going to list these phrasal verbs from A to Z alphabetically. All of these phrasal verbs come from my book, The Ultimate A to Z of Business English Phrasal Verbs. It's a massive book which I wrote. It has over 500 phrasal verbs in here, which are essential for business English. Lots of dialogues, lots of quizzes, lots of reinforcing activities, and over 300 bits of bonus English vocabulary as well for business English. Available on Amazon, link in the bio if you're interested. Otherwise, you're here for 25 business English phrasal verbs, which are essential. I mentioned we're going to go through them from A to Z, so that should be 26, but there's really no phrasal verb with X. So you're getting 25. Okay, so phrasal verbs are a combination of a verb and a preposition. And when they come together, two very basic words, they make a completely different word and a completely different meaning. It can be pretty frustrating for students at the upper intermediate and advanced level to have to learn all this vocabulary, to learn all these phrasal verbs. Don't worry, I've really boiled down, that's a phrasal verb right there, that means condensed, summarized, the most essential phrasal verbs here. So the first one, starting with A, is add up. And add up means to make sense. So you can say something about his excuse didn't really add up. So it didn't add up. It doesn't make sense. Or our department is going to do this, this, and this with the project. Okay, yeah, that adds up. That makes sense to me. Okay, next one, we're at B, is bank on. And bank on means depend on, rely on, or count on. So don't bank on the investors coming in on this project. I don't think they're interested. Or we can always bank on the holiday sales to help with our bottom line for the year's profits. Or don't bank on Peter to come to the Christmas party. He's not very social. Okay, so we have clear up now, and clear up means to clarify or resolve. So you could say, we need to clear up some confusion from the meeting, or I need to clear up some things with HR that weren't quite right in my contract. So clear up, very useful. Okay, next one is drop by. Drop by means to visit someone for a short amount of time. You could say come by, but that's going to be a bit longer of a visit. So if you want to visit someone quickly, you can say, can I drop by your office this afternoon? And it just means you won't be there for very long. It won't be a long meeting. Or feel free to drop by next time you're in Chicago. So feel free to come in and visit me. Again, come by could be a little bit longer. So drop by is perfect if it's a short visit you're speaking of. Okay, next one is ease up. And ease up means to reduce the intensity of something. So we can say we need to ease up on the team a little bit. They're feeling overworked, which means reduce the work that we're giving them. Or this department needs to ease up on spending. We just replaced the entire network of computers. So we need to ease up on spending, which means reduce spending. Okay, next one is to fork out. And to fork out is to pay a lot of money for something. So I fork out a lot taking my clients out when they're in town. Or we need to fork out thousands for new equipment. So fork out is to pay a lot more money, usually more than you want to, or usually more than you usually do. Okay, one thing I've totally forgot to mention in the beginning of the video, which I'll put it in here, because I'm not good at video editing yet. I'm still learning the ropes. Learning the ropes is learning how to do something and how something's done. Anyways, I'm going to put together a PDF of all of these phrasal verbs, their meanings, their synonyms, and an example sentence that I'm using, and I'm going to pop it in a PDF and pin it to the top of the comments. So at least then you can go through and you can review these. Okay. Forgot that earlier. Okay, no problem. Anyways, now we're looking at get across. And get across is fantastic because get across means you're communicating in a way that people understand you. So it doesn't just mean communicate. It means you're communicating effectively. People understand what point you're trying to make or what you're trying to say. So it's hard to get across technical details to some clients because they don't know the technical terms. Or did my idea get across? Yes, it did get across. No, it didn't quite get across. Can you please explain that for me again? So get across Communicate in a way that people truly understand you. It's a really great one. Okay, next one is hold off. And hold off is like postpone or delay. A little bit different from postpone, because when we have postpone, we have a date. We have a time that we're moving something to. But hold off just means wait until a later time, and we're not specifying the time. So hold off on the payment until we receive the invoice. Or we need to hold off on hiring new people until more business comes into our company. So hold off kind of means wait or delay until something else happens. Okay, next one is iron out. So if you have a shirt and there's a wrinkle in the shirt, you're going to iron out the wrinkle, get rid of the wrinkle. So when you have in your plans a little wrinkle, something that's not secured, something that's not set, it's not resolved, you can iron it out. So iron out would be to settle issues or dates or resolve any problems. So we have a couple things to iron out in the budget, then we'll send it off to the CFO. Or the client's very happy with the launch, however, we have to iron out the delivery service. So it kind of means if you have a little wrinkle, it's a little bit of a problem. Iron out means to finalize or settle or resolve something, to iron out. Okay, next one is jump at. And jump at means to take an opportunity or to seize an opportunity with enthusiasm and excitement. So I would jump at the opportunity to work abroad, or he would jump at the chance to interview for this position. So if someone's quite eager or excited to do something, you can say jump at. Okay, kick in is a really interesting one. Kick in is when something starts to take effect. So if I have a headache, I'll take an ibuprofen and I'll wait 15 minutes and the ibuprofen will kick in. It will start to take effect. Well, in business English, to kick in is when a policy or a new procedure starts to take effect. So once you're with the company for 6 months, your benefit package will kick in. Or the changes to our HR policy will kick in Monday, meaning they will come into effect starting Monday. Okay, next one is live off. And live off is to have financial means or be supported by something financially. So when you're a child, you live off your parents. Your parents take care of you, they support you financially. But a company can also live off something. So company B lived off government grants in its first year. It means that was the only source of income that they had for the first year. Or Bob is living off his pension at the moment after he retired, but he does want to move into small part-time work. Okay, next one is make of. Now, make, there are so many phrasal verbs with make and take. Phrasal verbs are a big part of English vocabulary. I got 1,000 videos to make, you guys. Anyways, we're here for make of. But make has a lot of different phrasal verbs it's included in. Make of, this is one of the most common ones, and it means what is someone's opinion about something, or what do they think of something, what's their evaluation of something. So the board didn't know what to make of the proposal. They didn't really know what to think of it. They didn't know how to evaluate it. Or what do you make of the new HR manager? Oh yeah, I think she's quite nice. So to make of is to form an opinion or evaluate something. Okay, nail down is great. So if you're building a house, you have a hammer and you have a nail. And if you nail down that piece of wood, well, that piece of wood is secured. So to nail down something is to finalize details. So let's nail down a date for our next meeting, or the team is trying to nail down the final design. So it means to secure, to settle, or confirm something. Okay, this next one is incredibly useful. I did an entire video on ways to say I made a mistake and still sound professional and capable. And this is one of the phrasal verbs and one of the bits of phrases I included in that video. To own up to something means to take responsibility for a mistake. That's what it means. You're going to admit or confess something. So you can say she owned up to putting the wrong date on the contract, or he owned up to not booking the hotel correctly for the client, or the client owned up to their mistake on payment and they're issuing a new payment for us. So own up to means to admit a mistake that you made. Okay, this next one is fantastic in the world of teamwork. Pitch in. Pitch in means you're going to contribute time, money, or effort. We need everyone to pitch in on this project. The deadline's tomorrow, which means we need everyone working on it. Or Mary's retiring. Let's all pitch in $10 for a retirement gift for her. Or can you pitch in a little bit over the weekend? We have a big deadline or a big shipment to send out, which means can you come in and work? So pitch in is fantastic. If it's money, if it's time, or if it's resources, you can use pitch in. Okay, so little quiz for you here. What is the opposite of busy when we talk about work? Any idea? Any idea? So if you're not busy, it is quiet. So this is a busy week? No, this is a quiet week. We have a busy month at work. We have a quiet month at work. So the opposite of busy is quiet. Now the phrasal verb to quiet down means when work is slower, when it's not as demanding. So usually business quiets down in August. That's the verb. Usually business is quiet in August. So business quiets down, slowly reduces how busy it is in August, or work is quiet in August. So quiet down means to be less active. Okay, next one is to rein in. And this is so descriptive, it should actually fall under the category of idiom, but it doesn't because it's a phrasal verb. But to rein in is to control something. So think of a horse and you're holding those straps that connect to the horse's neck and the mouthpiece, and those are called the rein. So if you're reining in the horse, you're controlling the horse. In business English, to rein in is to control or restrict something. So we have to rein in our spending to stay profitable. Or you need to rein in the VP of marketing. His ideas are a bit too out of the box for our company. So to rein in would be restrict or control. Okay, next one is to spell out. So again, phrasal verbs, this is not about spelling apple, A-P-P-L-E, no. But to spell out is to explain something clearly and in detail. So if you have a meeting and someone's explaining something to you very high end and you're not quite getting the details, you can say, please spell this out for me. It means clarify it for me. Give me details. So you can say he spelled out the terms of the contract very clearly before we signed it, which means he took his time and explained everything in detail. Okay, next one is takeaway. Are you getting hungry? You thinking about a nice Indian meal or a nice pizza? Takeaway? Well, this is a little bit different. Takeaway is the information or the feeling you leave a place with. So for example, it's like to learn or to be inspired by something. So from the failure of product B, we took away how crucial planning is. Or the networking event was fantastic. I took away a lot of great insights into the market. So takeaway is like to learn or to absorb or to have something new, knowledge or enthusiasm from a situation, not just about food. Okay, next one is to use up. And use up means deplete. If I had 9 pens in my office and I used all 9 pens in the year, I have used up all my pens. I have no more pens left. I've depleted my stock. I've used every single bit that I had of stock. So to use up means to finish or consume or use something where you have nothing left. So I used up all my vacation days last year. I have to wait 6 months for new vacation days. Or we used up the entire marketing budget last month. We can't do anything this month in regards to marketing. Okay, next up we have vouch for. Vouch for. And this means you're going to confirm the credibility or reliability or quality of something or someone. So if you're giving a reference for an employee who's hiring for another company, you can say, yes, I can vouch for her skills or her work experience. or I can really vouch for this brand of computer. It's always been really great for me. So it's like to endorse or recommend something or someone to vouch for. Okay, next one is whip up. Now, whip, if you have full cream and you put that metal beater inside and that cream gets really big and solid, that is to whip something as a food. However, to whip up means you're going to create something great from not much at all or very quickly. So it's to quickly create or produce something. So, for example, can you whip up a report for the meeting today? You don't have a lot of time. You have to create it quickly. Or the presentation slides completely crashed and I had to whip up an entire presentation within 5 minutes. So create something really quickly with not a lot of preparation. Yield to is when you're driving, think of a yield sign. So you have a stop sign where you stop, but then you have that triangle and that's a yield sign, which means you have to slow down and let the other drivers go past. That is to yield, and that's called the yield sign. Well, we use this in business English. To yield to is you're going to submit to pressure or a stronger force, to surrender or concede. So we can't yield to every customer complaint. We would never get anything done in our company. Or we had a lot of customer complaints. We had to yield to their complaints and change our policy. So yield to is to submit to pressure. Well, if you did make it to the end of this video, good job for you, because you now have 25 essential phrasal verbs for business English in your pocket that you can use tomorrow when you're dealing with business meetings, if you're interviewing, if you're talking with colleagues. Again, at the top of the comments, you can go and click on download the PDF, and I'm going to list all these phrasal verbs with the example sentences that I used and synonyms as well. Thank you so much for watching.